Hello everybody, Frankie Day here, Frankie Day Models. Okay fellas, I got the final reveal, video 3 for the $1.19, the old C119 playing boxcar. Okay guys, she's all done and I got another build coming up after this. I'll be making a video of it just after I get this posted on Facebook page, modeling pages, and for final reveal here, a few great fellas out there. Okay, before we get to the model and everything, and things in the day household is pretty much the same. I'm keeping pretty busy. Today's my day off. I'm keeping myself pretty well, excuse my back folks, active. And working 6 days a week now, and work on models and play music here and there a little bit, and just enjoying my life, you know, and it'll keep my mind off my wife. I know it's going to take time, lots of time, but time is the element of the solution of healing. And again, I'd like to thank everybody out there for your wonderful, wonderful, wonderful condolences on my wife. And you guys are great fellas. I love you guys out there. You guys are great people. If we had a whole world full of people like you great fellas, there'd be no wars, there'd be nothing but peace and model building. Unfortunately in life it don't work that way, but for us, we got to keep our hobby going and keep us interested and keep us sane. Okay, this is the final reveal for Hagersville, Pennsylvania built C119 boxcar. Like I mentioned before in video 1, the C119 arrived from the C82 packet plane. They had a lot of problems with the C82 packet, although it could do the same tactics and as that of its successor, the C119. But they had a lot of problems with the engine, fellas. They're very underpowered. Even the C119 in a way was underpowered. Later on, as I put in, I think General Electric J57 motors on there. And they actually did jet for jet assist takeoff. They had it on top of the fuselage, and give it a little jet assist takeoff action in case you get overloaded or something and don't have enough horsepower to get it off the ground. But these airplanes actually were designed for a load limit. Anything like that is going to have, it has some extra oomph. In other words, something's going to give. And so the boxcar was the mainstay of troop squadrons and cargo. They came out by the time of the Cold War, 1949. At the time during the Berlin airlift came to view. They were using boxcars back then. But the greatest thing that they used is during the Korean War, where they carried a lot of troops and they carry a lot of materials. They were one hell of a cargo plane, but they became almost obsolescent by the end of the late 1950s. So by 1960s, they're still using them. I know they used them in Vietnam because I've seen them. They were, I think I called them stingers or spookies, we call them. And they had those 7.32 miniguns on there. And they're painted black, 2 types of green and sand top, like they have the Herky Bird. A typical camouflage used in Vietnam. And so a lot of surplus flying boxcars are bought up by private corporations that use them for their own needs, such as cargo, transports, and stuff like this they use. And some are in museums. We got one of these down there at the Air Force Space Museum out here in Dayton, which is about 10 miles away from my house. They got Old Shaky, which I have over here, and they got it down in the museum. A lot of the Cold War aircraft out there. And I even got my flying boxcars that I had years ago, made by Aurora. I had that for a while, and I think I showed that in the last video. Okay guys, let's start chatting right now on the C119. Right behind me, I got some pictures I took outside today. It's cold outside. It snowed yesterday, and it's very cold out there. Winter is finally getting here. far as I'm concerned, is here already. Okay, we're going to zoom in, boys, a little bit here, and we're going to take a look at the $1.19 right here. I had this camera for a long time. I still don't know how to operate it. That's one thing what Bob Busky and I got in common. We had this camera for years. We still don't know how to operate it. Okay, this is the first still right here. The aluminum don't shine very good, as you can tell. The snow on the roof, snow all over the place except this, and there's a little brilliance of shining on that aluminum. Okay, aluminum tape works very well, guys. I've been using that stuff for years. I experimented with that stuff probably about in the early '80s. I used to do heat and air conditioning, and I had a bundle of this tape, and I still got it. I got a whole bunch of it at the house. Instead of going on ductwork like it was designed for, it works very well with these. Okay, you can see the brilliance of the silver opposed to the clouded skies, overcast skies, and snow. We'll go next picture here. There she is on her port side. All those panels show up pretty good in that tape, guys. Like I say, you just got to follow the panel lines. Once you lay on that tape and burnish out real well, you can see the panel lines on the plastic. Just cut where the panel lines at and add tape next to it. That's how it gives you the different hues of the panels on here. That's what you see on the real machines, which is duplicated here. You can see dark and light panels on here. There she was on her port side looking at, approaching the cargo ramps. I got another one of these C119s in my stash. It's by same company out of Telluride, and it comes with a Jeep, a howitzer, and that's about it. It don't have your structural fan on here on your tail booms, just like this. They don't have that. They did this later. They did that. And more that serves almost like a bumper, I guess. I don't know. Streamline effect, I don't know. Those wing walks are very hard to put on there. Very hard. Because they're molded, they come out as a strip of black decal. And you got to lay them down very, very careful. It takes about 10-20 minutes for each decal to position well on the wings. I don't know whether before. There we go. Kind of semi-fuzzy a little bit. I got a little close to the camera, let it focus by itself. You can see how they enter right there. They go up there, you got the load master standing right there. You got you got a tank, or a D9 diesel, or a howitzer. Even a helicopter can go in there. Even troops, that's how they load up. And they pull these ramps up, and they stick them out in the fuselage, and they lock them in there. The paratroopers, during 1950, 51, during the Korean War, these clamshells were closed shut. Instead of opening these shells out, they bailed out from the side doors. They go up this little step, doors open, and out you go. But they found out that was quite dangerous that way because a lot of the static lines got caught around the tail booms a lot. So when they started taking off the troop squadrons, what they did, they opened up these, they took these clamshells off, left the back fuselage open, the men stand in line, and they just bailed out backwards. Same thing he did in the Hercules. So that's the aft shot of the fuselage, of the cargo hold. And there she is right there, starting on the starboard side. This aircraft comes from Aichi, Japan, back in 1955. A very beautiful airplane she is. A very easy airplane to identify. If you were a child, like I was back in those days, when these things were flying all over the place, you know, you can tell they're boxcars. No mistake about it. They're a very, very beautiful airplane, and they're built very well with a lot of affection because These things were built in Hagerstown, Pennsylvania. That's the home of the flying boxcar. And they did the same tactics. Fairchild did the same tactics as Henry Ford did. He created towns, shopping places where to get food at, places for people to stay, activities. Very good with the children. Very good for the community, and there was nothing better than old-fashioned Americanism. A lot of that's lost nowadays, guys. It's all lost. There she is looking underneath there a little bit. Like I say, this is a sunny day. That darn silver aluminum would really shine. You can see a little shininess off on the prop of where the U.S. Air Force is at. There's the last picture right there. And there she is, boys. You can see the wing walks on there. It takes a long time to get those wing walks on there. Dude, the cockpit goes on very snug, very snug. I just brush out a little bit of 5 minutes of epoxy after I cut out 1/32 strips of tape. Frank did my cockpit, and I shoved the cockpit back so it's nice and flush and beautiful. No mistake about it, she's a flying boxcar. Right over here is the other one. Is live looking at you. See, it's pretty shiny here because you got good natural light in here. But overcast sky out there, as you can tell, it sure in heck don't make it shine like it does in here. I think because aluminum absorbs all that light and just makes it all foggy looking. I don't know. But there she is, boys. This is my first build I did ever since the death of my wife. And I got a lot more coming to you. I got a video coming up after this. First of all, I want to get this thing posted on Facebook pages and put it away nice and politely and tightly and gently, and prepare for another video for you right after this. Everybody's got this in your stash, guys. You'll find this a very remarkable airplane. I'm honored to Doug, Matt Hill, and another gentleman. Boy, I tell you one thing, fellas, I sure don't prepare myself for thought of mind. My three entries, Matt Hill, and Mr. Al Woods, and Doug Hensley models. Doug Hensley is presenting the 172nd Esche C130 XI Tellerray. Al Woods has an English transport. I don't know what that may be. It could be an Admiral York, or it could be an Avro York, or a Hastings, or it could be anything. Matt Hill, he's entering a Heller 1/72 scale Nord Atlas, almost like that of the flying boxcar. So we got those three gentlemen right there that's already entered this transport group build. And I'm very honored to everybody out there for this, and it makes me they feel good. Anybody wants to join, it can be English, it could be United States, it could be Germany, it could be anything. But that got to be a transport aircraft, a cargo plane. There's a lot out there, fellas. There's more out there nowadays what we got than it was years ago. Years ago, what the hobby manufacturers never put out, if you had a good set of plans, you'd make your own. But I'm glad every airplane that was used during the Cold War that's available in kit form and vacuum form. Okay, we're going to swing the camera around yours truly here and finish up the video. Such a big face on a small monitor. There he is. Next video I got coming up is Be a C-46 Commando. I started on that. Probably be working more on that today. And I got another kit on that video I'll show you I'll be doing next. And there's no other thing I can think of as now, fellas, other than the final build for the transport group buddy build. And so I'm looking forward for the pictures and the updates for Mr. Matt Hill's Nord Atlas, French Flying Boxcar, and Mr. Al Woods' English Transport, and also Doug Hensley Models and his Turkey Birds. I like to see the progress update on that, and so does the whole community. And so I got a lot of bills coming your way, fellas. And my mojo is starting to rise, and so just got to let time, you know, for my wife's expiration and everything, kind of fade away a little bit. It'll be all less on my mind. I'll be putting out a lot of kits coming out. And I'll be moving in my new hobby shop. I got going on out there, so I won't be in this room much longer. So that'll be that's about 3 or 4 videos away. Other than that, that's it for the conclusion for Frankie Day's Cargo Transport Group build, featuring my artillery 1/72 scale C119 flying boxcar. I'd like to thank everybody out there for your wonderful candor and your wonderful comments. And like I say, make Mama happy. Take care of your woman. Take care of your babies. Stay focused when you drive. Spend wisely. Build a model. Old Man Winter's here to stay. He just now got here. He ain't going nowhere for a long while. And so that promotes a lot of serious model building. And I can't think of anything else better than build models on a cold, snowy day with a crackling of the fire and a bottle of wine here, or a beer here, or whatever makes you feel keen. Okay, this is Frankie Day from Frankie Day Model signing off. Stay tuned for the C-46 Commando by Williams Brothers, 1/72 scale. It's coming your way along with the next kit after it that I'll be doing. And so stay tuned for all that, fellas. I love you guys. You guys take care of yourself, fellas. Always take care of your wife and your kids. Everything. Take care of your priorities and build models and enjoy. You'll find it very pleasant and very peaceful. I love you guys. Catch you guys next video. Frankie Day signing off for Frankie Day Models.